And guys, we got another round here. Little bit every day. It's like feeding the bitter medicine, or I don't know what it's like. I'm giving you guys some chemo here. A little bit of chemotherapy every day, so we can kill that cancer off. I know we shouldn't be joking about cancer. Little bit, a little bit of chemo a day keeps keeps the corrupt cancer away. Rating fish, amazing. Thank you. Fish. All right, guys. So we're coming to you live from Rooster Farms. I'm doing some giveaways here. Um, I love doing giveaways. Willow. And I'm here with my daughter. We're gonna do 2 ounce. Let's do a 2 ounce light Hawaiian. You guys have all tried the dark Hawaiian, so why don't we try some light Hawaiian? And we'll do a bunch of these. And welcome to my show. My name is Ed. I'm coming to you live from Rooster Farms on the Big Island of Hawaii. We are at the Amy Greenwell Garden here during the Sunday market. It's nice and cool. And I'm coming to you live from the Big Island where we have an active volcano. Sandon, you're still here. I'm always afraid when you're not here that finally said that one thing that pissed everybody off. So Sandon is still here. I hear the diving is really good here. Good diving, good coffee, good macadamia nuts. That's what we're known for here. So come check out Hawaii. If you guys love swimming and coffee, you got to come to Hawaii. It's good stuff here. Dirty Money. Thanks for sharing the show. Is that the year? Is that the year you were born? 84? I'm getting old because I'm 82. I'm getting old here. Robbie, 69. I hope I'm not as old as you yet, but I'm getting there. What's good? Well, we're talking about 100% Hawaiian coffee here. This is coffee all grown on the Big Island of Hawaii. This coffee is going to be sweeter and smoother than what you guys are used to drinking. And the reason for that is you guys have heard this before. I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself, but the reason for that is because we have an active volcano, and that this volcano is constantly replenishing the soil with micronutrients. And that makes our beans here grow larger than beans from anywhere else in the world. Now, a larger bean doesn't necessarily mean a better cup of coffee, right? If you pick your coffee too early, just like any other fruit, it's going to come out sour and bitter, no matter how large you got that fruit to grow. And that's actually why most of the world's coffee is so sour and bitter. Most of the world's coffee was picked with a machine. And when you pick coffee with the machine, 20% of those beans are going to be unripe. And that's what's giving you your acid reflux, your indigestion, your sour stomach. All that stuff is coming because you're drinking unripe coffee. I hate to tell you that, but that's the truth. Or you're drinking old coffee. But I think it's worse to know that you're drinking unripe coffee rather than, I don't know which one's worse actually. They're both pretty bad. So we're used to drinking unripe coffee and old coffee. In fact, the shelf life of coffee is 18 months, which means, but it's not optimal for 18 months, right? You can bake a cookie and put it on the shelf for 18 months, but it's only really good for a month. And then after that, it's just not as good. And that's the same thing with coffee. Coffee is actually like a pastry. It's a baked good. It's got sugar, it's got fruitiness in there, it's got chocolate flavors, it's got the dough. It's got everything you'd want in a cookie. Unfortunately though, when you pick it too early, it's going to be sour and bitter. When you get it from the supermarket, it's been sitting on the shelf for 18 months. It's just not the same. So you're run the Hawaiian. Here we go, Sandra. I still don't have your OG. I believe I will have it next week. So I am kind of excited for that. Getting that OG out there. The OG coffee. That's a hippie behind me. And so So yeah, so we're talking about Hawaiian coffee. All of this coffee is picked by hand, whereas most of the world's coffee is picked with a machine. And when you harvest coffee with a machine, something like 20% of those beans are going to be unripe. And unripe coffee tastes like any other unripe fruit. That's where all the sourness comes from. That's where the bitterness comes from. It's because of that unripe coffee that's in your cup. When you make a banana bread, how many bananas you use? Maybe five? What if one, maybe probably less than five, right? Five bananas is a lot. Let's say one of those bananas was green and half a banana was moldy and rotten. And he just said, fuck it. I'm just going to bake the banana bread out of this. I'm going to throw a bunch of cream and sugar in there. I'm going to boil the banana bread longer. I'm going to cook it for longer so that, all that mold doesn't matter. That's what's going on with your coffee. You think if you roast the coffee real dark, then you're going to cook away the mold, the rot. If you roast, if you roast the coffee real dark, I will. Thanks, Sandon. If you roast the coffee, I feel like Sandon is an agent for whatnot, and you go around looking at the different sellers, and you make sure they have good stuff, and you're also a sort of a an angel who goes around giving people stuff when they need it. Yeah, I've never even made a banana bread zero prince. I'm just trying to make a good analogy. I don't have any right now. I'm at the farmers market, so the bean fields at the farm. I'm gonna be up there later. I was just up there before, printed out some postage, and then now I'm taking my daughter to Ross stores. We're taking a pit stop here, and yeah, Kona. If you guys come out to Hawaii, it's farmers markets. It's super small town here, so it's a little bit. It's still authentic. You want to go to the next one? It's still very authentic. Not much tourist stuff to do though. And yeah, you can take thanks exit. I appreciate that. And so this is our medium Hawaiian. I have maybe five of this left. Aaron, you can just rooster. Let me get. It's in my notes, show notes here. But you gotta like copy and paste. And if you guys are in Hawaii, I don't know. Hawaii is awesome. Hawaii is such a small community. You end up getting to know everyone, and at some point, I'm gonna run into exit 8 high on the Hilo side. We are pretty far separated, the Kona and the Hilo side, though, so you hardly ever run into people. But I did start a YouTube channel. On there, I'm gonna try to discuss all of the health benefits. I'm gonna discuss each of the compounds in coffee in great detail without selling the coffee, so you guys can learn about the coffee without me getting in trouble. I just don't want to get in trouble. I'm always getting in trouble, guys. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm always getting in trouble, but I'm just gonna, especially on my social media, constantly getting in trouble. I just don't get it. Anyway, so we got our medium Hawaiian. We have three roasts, light, medium, and dark. All of them are extremely low acid. A lot of times you go to the store and you see, low acidity coffee, and you think you're getting something different when actually all they're doing is roasting the coffee extremely dark. Whereas our coffee, and I'm gonna give you guys a chance to get this dark Hawaiian for 22.50. I'm gonna put it on flash sale. This is a 12-ounce bag of our dark Hawaiian. Todd Drain, I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're doing well. And seeing some old names here. I do miss you guys when I don't see you for a long time. I always wonder, did I say something? Did I say something offensive? And I'm sure I did, but oftentimes I didn't. People have a higher tolerance for offensive things than you'd expect. Run the light. I'll run some light and white. Here's a Hawaiian dark. If you guys want dark for 22.75, it's on flash sale here for the next 30 minutes in the bin. And the dark roast is the one maybe you want to start with. This one is almost like a toasted caramel. McShane, haven't seen you in about 3 or 4 days. I did that marathon thing on Thursday. I had 4 cups of white coffee. I haven't been the same since. I sort of lost had a little bit of a nervous breakdown. I'm feeling a little bit better now. It took me about 2 or 3 days. I think you could hear it in my live shows. Low frem, I would try the Hawaiian light just because it's actually the sweetest one of all of them. There, we also right now have a pea berry light, which is interesting, but I think the Hawaiian light tastes better. The pea berry light has a little bit of tartness in it because that center of the bean is so dense that it didn't quite roast all the way. So I'm also gonna do the Hawaiian light for 22.75 on flash sale if you guys want to grab that. And the light roast, comparable to the white, it's 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 gonna be maybe half or as quarter as strong, but it's got a nicer flavor, in my opinion. It brews more like regular coffee, so you don't have to do anything special to it. Whereas the white coffee definitely doesn't quite brew like regular coffee, but it does give you a really strong buzz. So we have the light and the white. The light coffee is roasted to 400 degrees. The white coffee is 350. The light coffee tastes like coffee. It's got that chocolatey flavor. It's got that milk chocolate, but it's still kind of nutty. And so it has hints of the white coffee in it. And the light roast was also just roasted um, on Saturday. So the light right now and the dark Hawaiian are the two freshest coffees that we have. And here's a 12-ounce bag of the light. I have had green bean coffee, Gannisset, and that stuff's really strong. Street Smarts, haven't seen you in a few days. Street Smarts the one that I go to when I'm like, tell us what the white coffee does. And then Street Smarts will tell us. And this way I don't have to be the one telling you and get in trouble for it. But low from like white coffee, the trigonylene in there is actually known to increase your muscle strength. So I don't know if you noticed that when you drink this white coffee, like not so much the light, but the white is super concentrated, and it definitely makes you feel stronger. Um, Steep time, I'd say 5 minutes. We only ship to the U.S. This is American grown coffee. This is probably the only coffee that's grown in the U.S. So we don't. It doesn't leave the island we uh, until we ship it. Yeah, the white coffee. I'm gonna do some videos on my YouTube that goes through each of the things and why the white coffee does what it does. But I can't do it on here. I don't want to get flagged for selling supplements. So it is something really powerful. Almost ouch. Well, I'm glad that it's helping a little bit. McShane, you got a nice one. Chocolate covered mac nuts. I will run that.
Mhm. There you go.
I'm running the chocolate covered mac nuts at my cost, which is 20% off. So $16 is what I have to run it for. But you can get cheaper chocolate covered mac nuts, and that's why I'm not selling these after this. So I only have whatever it is left here is the only ones I have. Just like the branded chocolate that I was selling, which I ended up selling at cost. It's just too expensive. Like I'd have to charge you guys like 25, $30. They just don't sell. So I'm just selling these at cost. I'm gonna try to make my own mac nuts, but you can tell this is a premium chocolate. They know what they're doing. It's like velvety milk chocolate. It's a sea salt milk chocolate. It might be a dark chocolate, but it tastes to me like a milk chocolate. That's the other interesting thing about Hawaiian chocolate is it's so low in bitterness that the dark chocolate almost tastes like a milk chocolate. So these are my chocolate covered mac nuts. I might have them in different flavor too. I gotta go check out what I got. But yeah, these are really good. Um, Sandon, it tasted like milk chocolate to me. I'll double check. For me, it did taste like milk chocolate, but I'm a little bit off. It could have been a dark chocolate. It felt like a milk chocolate. I'll check that for you later. We also have some samples of the Hawaiian, but we're talking about the white coffee. The white coffee is roasted so light that it's still somewhat raw. It tastes between a nutty, you know, this batch of white coffee did have still had a mild coffee flavor to it. This was a bigger bean. We do have some variability in our roasting, right? Because we have a drum roaster that's very old, so there is some variability. Um, Here's a white coffee, 8 ounce, and apparently it helps a lot with inflammation. I had 4 cups of it, and now to the last few days, Street Smarts, it didn't work for me, and I sort of had a whole crash, and I was having mental issues. Maybe I shouldn't tell you guys that. I definitely think the white coffee is strong enough that it will cause, if you're like me and you got some mental issues going on, it might bring those out. So definitely want to warn you about that. It might bring out your some mental issues, but it also helps a lot with all sorts of stuff, pain, neuropathy, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it was Sandon. It was. It was more than 2 ounces. It was as much as I could stuff in that. So it was more than 4 cups, and I had 4 in a row that day. 6 hours blew by, and then I curled up in a ball. I did. That didn't help. Some people will bring it out. That's true. I try to. People are like drugs. There's certain people that will, like I always say, I really don't like people that give me, acid reflux and indigestion. And there are people that do that. It's kind of interesting. I'm lucky to be alive. I've done worse than 16 cups of coffee. It was strong though. Definitely like the last few days, I don't know, I was just off. I was just off. Have you ever seen someone overdose on coffee, Sandon, coming into the emergency room? All right, I'll do a $1 start on this white coffee. These are 2 ounce samples with Charlie Sheen. He's by winning. There you go. So 2 ounce extra fancy, anti-inflammatory, really strong stuff. And it's an extra fancy, which means it's the biggest beans that we have and the cleanest beans. I do have like 3 bags of it in Hawaiian left. If you guys wanted the better value, but the extra fancy beans give you a much cleaner, smoother experience with the white coffee than your typical graded coffees. The white coffee is you were feeling starting to a little bit weird. Yeah, one is usually how much I do. I was just chasing it. I was starting to get competitive on my whatnot. I saw there were people selling more coffee than me, and then I got competitive, and then it threw me off. There's my daughter, and then I needed to reevaluate what I was doing. I was getting too hung up on trying to meet my sales goals and not just hanging out like I was doing before and trying to talk about my mental issues. And as soon as that happened, it got even worse. So now I'm trying to be a little bit better. All right, so that was the white coffee. Very strong. Looks like a lot of you have already tried it. I definitely notice, and I don't know if this is true, but when I see someone try the white coffee, they'll kind of disappear off of whatnot for a week or two, and I'm like, okay, they're going through what I went through, and then they'll come back, and it seems like they're a slightly different person. Yeah, I don't put her on, but remember, if there's a weird one out there, I'm gonna get you. So it's better just to pretend I don't exist. I'm gonna get you. I'm psychic. I can cause car accidents mentally. I can do also. I got spaceships. The aliens are watching, and then there's also the NSA. So so I'm gonna get you. I'm not the type of person that's just gonna let something. I'm gonna get you. Like I'm gonna hunt you down. I'm gonna mess around with you. I'm gonna spread rumors. I'm gonna make sure everybody knows, and you're gonna want to move to Thailand. So find someone else. It's okay though. Everyone has issues. I I'm sure you're trying to be a good person too. I don't know why you would even be laughing, street smarts. I don't even know. It's not funny. Let's focus on the coffee, guys. So again, if you guys are looking for coffee, this is the highest grade coffee in the world. So I know it's more expensive. You may not know what you stumbled upon. You see this, this is coffee grown in the U.S., harvested by hand, grown on the most expensive land in the world, where the labor costs are off the charts. But you shouldn't just be paying because labor costs are higher. Because the labor costs are higher, the way we pick the coffee is completely unique. We only pick the coffee that's deep red, purple, or brown. We're only picking the coffee that falls off to the touch. Whereas other hand-picked regions are picking their coffee red, orange. We're gonna pick our coffee. Oh, you weren't laughing. Got it. I got it. You shouldn't be laughing. It's not funny. You shouldn't laugh at other people. We had a pedophile living working for us, and he ended up becoming a paraplegic. So I just want you guys to know that. And I warned everybody. I said, if you're working for me and you got something weird going on, you should quit. I don't want bad things to happen. They all laughed at me. They said that Ed, he's crazy. He thinks he can just pray and you're gonna die, and like God punishes people. And I said, if you met me, it means this is the end of the line. So so just you should quit. If there's something bad going on, just quit. I don't need to know. I'm not here to judge you, but this is the end of the line, guys. If you ran into me, it's the end of the line. End of the line. He wasn't a bad guy, Shafi. I mean, kind of. He was a bad guy. Yeah, he was kind of a shitty person, but like he wasn't. Most pedophiles are just porn pedophiles, and I know even that is terrible. But did he deserve to become a paraplegic? I don't know. I don't know, Sandon. I don't know. He was just a kid. He was just a kid. He was just, he was 20, 24, 25. I don't know. Did he deserve to become a paraplegic? I don't know. I don't know if anyone deserves that, but maybe he did. But I just warned everybody, if you run into me, this is the end of the line. Just be good. Be good. I want to think you got. See, now I'm rambling. And the crazy part is the whole time I was telling my wife, I was like, this guy's a pedophile. And then she was like, no, she's like, he's a good guy. You're crazy, Ed. Elsa. That's Elsa. You're crazy. And then it comes out 2 years later, his wife is screaming to everyone that this guy's a pedophile. And then now my wife's calling the cops. Oh, this guy's a pedophile. I was like, I've been telling you that for 2 years. I've been telling you that for 2 years. Sorry, guys. All right. Let me take a breath here. I can take a breath. Okay. Okay. Coffee. Thanks, Sandon. I gotta make Sandon my moderator. She should just. Anytime I start falling off the tracks, it's gonna be too much work though, so it's not worth it. What are you getting out of being a moderator, Sandon? Nothing. No matter how much I gave you, it wouldn't be enough. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. All right, best deal of the day is our 8 ounce dark estate and 8 ounce medium estate. Our estate coffee coming off a single farm is 100% Kona coffee. It's less than 1% defect, state inspected. Literally the cleanest coffee that we have. It combines the top four grades of coffee together. The reason, yeah, that's what I hear. And I'm just glad I'm not a pedophile. I'm just glad, You just got to be grateful for what you have. And that's kind of the limits, right, of being honest. You can stop corruption if you admit to various things that I've been talking about, but there's still the pedophiles, and they can't go around admitting stuff and repenting. It doesn't work. Jesus doesn't work for them. They're still going to get beat up. So that's sort of this intractable problem. Once you hit the pedophile wall, you can these days you can be gay, you can be divorced, you can be cheating, you can be a Muslim. But the second you hit that pedophile wall, what are you gonna do? Now they're the so it's an intractable problem, intractable problems. And I don't know how to I don't think there's any solution to that. So all right, what are we doing now? So I did that $21 dark, which is the best deal. I still have a few, maybe 20 pounds of this. So I'll just and then you got the you can be a stripper, you can do any of those things, and if you admit it, you're fine. But you can't admit to being a pedophile. So they're always going to be on the underground. They're always going to be able to be manipulated. So they're always going to be the top choice to be the top leaders, because those are the people that you can control, right? And so now it just made it worse. Cut it off. I'm sorry, guys. Oh God. This is Ed coming to you from the Big Island. That's right. This is Ed. It was good. You got the estate medium. Good stuff here, estate medium. And I don't know. Yeah, I already went off the deep end. Already went off the deep end there. All right, let's try this again. I could go on about that too, because I researched, you know, I needed to know why. Why is it like this? And I could go on about that too. But there's stuff that you don't want to hear. All right, what are we doing here? So yeah, so the best deal right now is our dark estate and our medium estate. Both of these will make you just kind of like a buttery cup of coffee. Let me focus on the coffee. My opinions, honestly, they don't matter. But out of every one that's convicted, you got 20 of them that are just kept on the down low, right? Like you'd never know. That's the thing. The convicted ones are like, that means they did it like 100 times. And you only convict someone after they do it 100 times. That's our system. So maybe 200 times, or they killed somebody. Maybe they killed three people, and you get them for one. So you can't rely. You can't just rely on the system. You got to keep your eyes open. That's what I learned. In fact, a lot of those people who are enforcing the laws, I don't know, they're there for a reason. They're the ones doing it for a reason. All right, what are we doing? What are we doing, guys? So best deal, Kona, medium, and then your medium Kona estate 8 ounce. Most of the time, look online, 60, 65 bucks a pound. That's probably what you should expect to pay for an estate. But we're doing this for 21 to just for the next few days because I roasted too much of it. It's starting to get slightly over a week old. It's like 8 days right now, and I made a promise to myself to always only keep the coffee less than a week old. So that's why this estate's on sale here. It's not old, but it is. I need to keep it moving. I have a specific way I'm setting up my logistics, and I need to keep it moving. Otherwise, the coffee starts losing its quality. All right, so that's our medium and our dark. I'll run some samples of that too, and you can get a medium estate sample, which is almost as good as the extra fancy. It really is almost as good as the extra fancy. It even includes some extra fancy, and I'll run a bunch of these 2 ounce medium estates. Here they are. If you guys want to try them, here they are, 2 ounces. Yep, and then a lot of times your exit is right. A lot of times there's this system where there's certain parents who want their kids to have like old adult mentors. It's like part of the system. It's part, and that's the other thing as it is that system goes to ancient times for boys, but as soon as you bring girls in, it kind of changes the whole thing because no one cares about boys. Some people do, but not the same way. So then, anyway, we don't need to get into that. But it is much more complicated and less complicated. Exit knows what I'm talking about, Ben. And so I've had parents. Sorry, guys. I've had parents come to me and just ask me to do stuff like that in a very weird, underhanded way, and I'm just like, all right, guys. So Estee caught. Let me try one more time. This isn't working out today. Obviously, I still have a mental dysfunction going on, and I can't focus. You like the light pea berry? Awesome. Um, I only have the light pea berry. I'll do a here. I'll do a temporary listing of the light pea berry in 8 ounce, and I'll do that for 30. So it's so if you guys like the light pea berry, I did just roast up a bunch of light pea berry. This was roasted Thursday, and so the light pea berry is almost has this fruity honeyness to it. Thanks for getting me back on track. Almost has this fruity honeyness to it. Um, it is almost probably much stronger than your light Hawaiian. There's a little bit of more of a honey flavor. It's a little bit more tart, and it's going to be smoother, more buttery, and fruitier. Tiny bit nuttier. So just a broader range of flavors overall. Here's an 8 ounce bag of the light pea berry. Light pea berry. 8 ounce bag. If you guys want a light pea berry, here it is. And this is a the pea berry is a rarity, right? It only happens at the tips of the trees. You can see the bean when it's a pea berry. So instead of having two halves to it, you only have one kind of peanut. One is a 2 ounce white. Tio Rob, if you ordered on the 21st, I actually got all those out on Saturday. There's a batch from the 24th, which should also be scanned as of yesterday. They're taking longer than I thought. Um, but the 21st, there were 10 people who I had missed. 26th, That also I think went out yesterday, but if not, then I got a batch in my car going out Monday morning. But I think that also went out yesterday. I think we should be all caught up through everything, so it should get scanned on Monday. Sorry for the delay. Yeah, the bean itself looks different. The bean looks like a little football. It's denser. It looks like a little pebble, whereas whereas your whereas your other when your regular coffee bean has a flat half to it. I cracked myself up. Okay, so that was our medium pea berry in a sample or in an 8 ounce bag, or light pea berry in an 8 ounce bag. We also have a dark pea berry if you guys want a sampler of that, worth trying. The dark pea berry is probably the richest of all our dark coffees. A little bit less sweet than your extra fancy, but very, very rich. Which pea berry did you get, Sweet Street Smarts? Oh, when you're picking it, you can tell the difference. It's a little bit hard, so we're not really paying attention that much when you pick it because we're just kind of touching all the beans and only taking what falls off to the touch. 2 ounces for $2. Great deal there. Can't do another one though. So we're only picking the coffee. So we don't, you can see which one's going to be a pea berry, but you don't really think about it that much. 3 bags of white Hawaiian. There's a little chicken, guys. Chicken and their little babies. I used to chase around the babies, and you can grab them. You can just grab them and steal them and raise them as your own. Oh, I ran another dark pea berry. What am I doing? How did that happen? $2. Yeah, there used to be way more. Now you see there's only one baby with the mother because our mongoose went crazy. I don't know exactly what happened, but the mongoose population went crazy. And so now instead of flocks of 10 or 15, you just see one little poor chicken left. So the chicken population here is just dropping. Just the mongoose population exploded. Whimsical. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate that. And you learn a lot. I learned a lot from farming chicken. Learn a lot about yourself when you're farming chicken. It's different than farming plants. That's a chicken. I'm not a chicken. You're a turkey. Baby turkeys, those are fun too. Turkeys are majestic, and the turkey pop. There used to be wild turkey running around here, and used to just like 2 or 3 years ago. But unfortunately, now the mongoose population has exploded. We can make all sorts of analogies between mongoose and chicken, but in the end, I decided chicken belong in cages. They should never have been free. They were never meant to be free. Okay, what are we doing next, guys? So we did. I can do. I mean, you guys were getting these samples. No one wants the dark pea berry. I'll do an 8 ounce bag of the dark pea berry for $30. What is that? 5 times 8 is 40. 4 times 8, 8 times. I can't do math here. I don't know what that you guys are paying for that, but here's a. They don't. In fact, they went against it. So I had this whole idea, whole plan that was starting to catch on. I had killed 800 mongoose by myself, just just purely me, and I wanted to expand. I wanted to expand my campaign, and so I took out an ad on Craigslist and I put a bounty on the mongoose. I said, every mongoose body you give me, I will give you $1. And I got all of these phone calls, like hundreds of phone. Everyone was so excited. It was like I was going to become the mayor of Hawaii because the whole island flipped. They were like $1. I can get you 20 mongoose carcasses every single day. I was getting ready to just receive piles of mongoose. They were like, I can get 20 of them a day. Like farmers calling me up left and right, just being like, "This is awesome. I have so many mongoose. I don't know how to get rid of them." I was like, I'm gonna take them. I'm making mongoose paintbrushes. I'm gonna make mongoose hats, mongoose coats. Run the white. All right, let's run the white. Sandon, I owe you some coffee. So then, so I was ready. I was ready to just organize the community and just completely destroy all of the mongoose because I was so upset about the chicken. Like they killed so many of my chicken. I was really upset. But then I looked into it, and the state of Hawaii has a law. You're not allowed to use pests. You're not allowed to use pests commercially. And mongoose here is classified as a pest, even though in India they're an endangered species. So in India, they have to smuggle the pelts because mongoose pelts make amazing paintbrushes, like world renowned paintbrushes, mongoose paintbrushes. Look it up, $100 to $200 per paintbrush. Right. So I was like, dude, I can make 200 paintbrushes a day. This is how we're gonna fund the spaceships. So I was ready. I learned to skin them. Well, let's tell me to stop talking. She's on the same page as Sandon. Just focus on the coffee. Willow said, "Stop talking." So, long story short, they stopped. They stopped me. They said, You're not allowed to use mongoose commercially. We're afraid." I was looking for ways to pay for the spaceships, and I figured I'd eliminate all the mongoose. Fight them with dogs. That's actually sounds like a that would work. Yeah. So it didn't work out. It didn't work out. They shut me down. They said you can't. We're afraid if you start getting big with these mongoose and you kill all the mongoose that are pests, then you're going to start keeping them in cages and farming them for their tails, and we don't want that. And I thought this is the most backwards thinking because right now there's like 20 mongoose per acre per day, and like we're not allowed to kill them because you're afraid we're going to farm them. But I follow the laws. It got so much interest that I had a factory in China. It was ready. It smelled terrible. It smelled terrible. It smelled terrible. Worse, just it smelled like death. My whole farm was terrible. 2 ounce extra fancy white, and so this one will give you a buzz. You can kill them. You're just not allowed to sell them. All right, let's try one more of these. So this one will give you the trigonylene. Look up trigonylene. It's the kind of the main compound in the coffee. I need to get these to 7. 5 is a little bit too low. Maybe even 6. 5 is just a dollar too low. So I'm gonna just start these at 5. Let's see. I'll give you guys a few more chances to grab them though. I know a lot of you guys want to try it, but I'll try to do it at a lower grade so that it's not so expensive. Um, but yeah, this is the white coffee really will make you feel good. Um, but it is very strong. I don't think it's strong enough that you need to be cautious because it'll just ruin your day. It's not gonna. It'll it's so strong that if you have too much of it, it'll ruin your day. But that's not it. It's not gonna give you. It's not gonna kill you because it doesn't even really have that much caffeine in it. And here's another one, guys. I still did a dollar start. Here, you guys can big bag. But your Street Smarts is using it in a very economic way where he's grinding up 4 or 5 beans into a powder, and then or he was eating the beans and then he started putting them into a powder and drinking the powder, and that's a you'll get like 20 servings from this 2 ounce bag if you do it that way, and you're not gonna sacrifice um any potency for that. That's actually a really good idea, exit. That's actually a really good idea. Oh, that's the cutest little sound. You hear that when they peep?
Pew, pew, pew.
You guys staring at the chicken, guys. You want to run some big white bags? I'm always reluctant to run these white bags when things are slow because I've been selling pounds. I've been selling 3 pounds for $60, and that's how much a pound costs me. So I got killed a few times. But I'm also the kind of person that you can hit on the head over and over again. I'm still gonna keep coming back. So all right, here's an 8-ounce bag of the white. I also run my last three 12-ounce bags of the white Hawaiian. And you guys stare at the chicken. Mongoose are very shy, so they're not gonna come out after us. Um, the mongoose are very shy. They they only come out when although after the mongoose live in my house now. They're even come to the house, so they got no shame. They got two. It was weird. The more mongoose you kill, the more mongoose you have. Like more. There's even more mongoose on my property than before, and it's kind of weird. You can compare it to a lot of other things. I don't want to say it because it'll sound racist, but it's the case with a lot of things. Yeah, I do think if you can, this can to some extent get you off the pain pills. But on the other hand, it might make you want to do more. Like I have to admit, I had a relapse back to my weed after I drank this white coffee. I had a good 3-week relapse, and so there's a trade off. It's strong enough that it's going to make you feel unstable enough. So if you're struggling with you know any of that stuff, you may want to stay away from it um, just because from my experience, it definitely caused me to have a relapse, and now I'm off of it again. But like it was a significant relapse. So I did smoke a bunch of weed. I'm stopping again, but still, it was definitely the white coffee that caused that, and my own weakness. But if you're weak, it doesn't help to make it even harder. Here's the chicken. Here's the chicken. Let me see if I got this Hawaiian white. I thought I did. Here we go. I only have 3 of these. I don't want to. I'm gonna get more roasted. I'll just find it for you guys. Peep peep. Look at that little chicken. They're so freaking cute. They're so cute when they're little, and then they grow up. Then they grow up. All right, here we go. Looks like the market's wrapping up here, so I'm gonna have to find my next stop soon. I might take you guys to the beach and start up again there. All right, so we got 3 of these whole bean white Hawaiians. I'm just gonna give them up for the 26 that I've been discounting the coffee to. So if you want, this is 12 ounces of the Hawaiian grade. Have you noticed on your side the feral chicken are starting to disappear? Because they're starting to disappear. There used to be so many more of them, and now teenager chickens are still kind of cute. They're peeping. They still make that peep peep sound. But as soon as they start clucking, I hate chicken. As soon as they start clucking, So here's our white Hawaiian. I got last one here, and this one better value. Might be a little bit nuttier even than our extra fancy white, but also kind of gives me the jitters. So I just definitely warn people about the white Hawaiian. And they're actually wrapping up. This is our local farmers market where all the local hippies get together, and most people aren't even farming anything. So mostly it's just handcrafts. There isn't really that much food here. Like that squash I had is a big deal. But it is a farmers market. There are real farmers here. There's like 3 or 4 real farmers, and you got to respect what they're doing because growing vegetables is not easy out here. It's fun to live here, but it's also actually a lot of work, a lot of unexpected work. All right. So thanks for keeping me on track, guys. Thanks for keeping me on track. All right. What are we doing next? We cleared out my white coffee. Um, I'm going to let you guys get a chance to get the medium estate again, the one that is the best value right now. Almost as good as that extra fancy that some professional coffee critics sampled and said this is the one you want to use for espresso. It is much drier. I do sell my coffee. A lot of local coffee shops serve our coffee. Down to Earth serves it on the Hilo side. Abundant Life Natural Foods does our coffee. Island Naturals used to do our coffee, but they don't do it anymore. I don't. I think we're too disorganized, somewhat chaotic, and but this is our 8 ounce Kona Estate medium, and this was roasted about 8 days ago. Now I got about 20 pounds of it left, and this one tastes, 21. It's a $42 a pound price. It tastes like the extra fancy, but it's not as expensive. It's got that smooth Nutella flavor to it, sweet milk chocolate covered raisin, and this one's the best value. It's just on sale because it's 8 days old, which for me, I knew it would start to get. So I knew I got too much of it, and that's why I have been selling for 21. I need to make sure my coffee is just as fresh as possible. So I'm trying to get rid of this before it comes even close to 2 weeks. But 2 weeks is actually very fresh. If you drink your coffee within a month of roasting, it's still like considered freshly roasted coffee. The coffee you guys are buying in your store, probably 12 to 17 months old. I like that Zen Warrior. I need to I need to have that attitude more often. It's hard. Sometimes I feel like people who tell me to do that, they're in on it. They're just trying to get away with it. But I don't think that's the case. I think there's so much trauma in this world. Life is hard. Well, I hope I hope you get through it. Green World. Who is Green World? I feel like I know them. They're the vitamin place, right, at the mall. Yeah, the vitamin place. You might want to grind it up into a powder and become the white coffee. Oh, okay, coffee farms. They're probably not gonna want to Hawaiian coffee farm. Green World. Huh? I've never heard of them. That's interesting. So this is our medium Kona Estate. It says 6 ounces, 8 ounces. I'm sorry, guys. My things are ridiculous and chaotic, as you know. And it's 8 factorial. It's not just eight. Okay. This is by far the best deal. Like if I can get Kona coffee for 41 bucks, I'd be buying it all day. Which is what I which is what I did because I saw a batch and I just bought it. I think I put in too much of an order. So I was like, shit, now I gotta sell it. Okay. But yeah, that's our medium. If you guys want a 2 ounce sample, it is really good. And then if hey Clubhouse, thanks. Drank 8 cups. Well, that's great. That after 8 cups, hopefully you're still feeling good. And that's the key to our coffee, I think, is that you can drink a lot of it and your stomach's not gonna hurt. You're not after 8 cups, probably still gonna get a little bit of anxiety. So, but after 1 or 2 cups, often I'll get anxiety from other coffees, whereas this one doesn't seem to do that. And Evie, I hope life gets better. It always gets a little better, right? And then it gets worse again. It's like pain. It's not how much pain you're in. It's just getting some relief from the pain. All right. Yeah, Paw Patrol. Want to do some Paw Patrol?
No.
Oh, that is Paw Patrol. So cool.
I didn't know the foxes. And there's a more cat right there. Hey, what is it?
You know, if anyone who wants to live in Hawaii, like you can go work at Target for $23 an hour out here. It's like there's such a shortage of labor that anyone who, you know, is familiar with the US, who can speak good English and can show up to work, can make a decent amount of money. It's not easy, but it's like there's jobs everywhere. Everyone's looking for help. Um, most people here can't even show up to work. But I feel like once you get here, it's easy to become a person who can't show up to work. So I don't know. All right, what are we doing now? I know, I know. I'm not a person who shows up to work. I can show up to my own work. I'm selfish. But when it comes to showing up to other people's work, I'm not that great at it. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to work for other people. If you show up to work, you can definitely make it in Hawaii. Like the lack of people out here um, is ridiculous. So if you can show up to work, you know you're called. If you can show up to work and you don't drink milk and you can bake your own bread, then I think you're gonna do pretty well out here. Just if you drink your milk, all the money you made at work is gone. Or if you eat beef, then you might have problems. Definitely.
Daddy.
What's going on, Willow?
I want the more pup one.
The mercat one?
No, the more pup.
The merpup.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can you find that?
You want a merpup?
A more pup.
MER pup? Merpup.
The one I was.
Oh, Merpup Paw Patrol. Which one?
This one.
Thanks for picking that up, Rachel. Milk is super expensive. Yeah. Like, if you get your milk, like, you have to go to Costco to get milk, but there's only one Costco. So, a gallon of milk at Costco is 6.25. A gallon of milk at Safeway, anywhere from $9 to $12, like ridiculously expensive. A quart can run you $9 out here if it's certified organic. We don't, holy cow, we don't have our own milk cows, so everything has to be imported. And then like, there's this law. We're not allowed to sell it. There are plenty of goats, and we do have people who have goat milk, but we're not allowed to sell it. There's also a lot of local government regulations out here, so it's challenging. Ground beef, I don't really eat ground beef, so I don't know what off the top of my head. but I know like a ribeye. The cheapest ribeye you can get, 21 bucks a pound, and then you can find ribeye for like 36, 40 bucks a pound, which is ridiculous. I think that's ridiculous. We do have cows, but we don't finish them here because apparently the grass is too wet, and so the calories per chew that the cows do is too low to get them to grow into that nice fatty, you know, fatty meat that we like. So the cows here tend to be very lean. Fortunately, I don't know ground beef prices off the top of my head. I tend to eat steak when I do eat beef, which is like once every 3 or 4 weeks. All right, what are we doing? But milk is really expensive. And then on top of that, the quality, right? You can be paying the same price.
I have scissors.
You got scissors. You can be paying the same price
Do you
for
want
the
to
beef as
see
the mainland. What's that?
Do you want to see the purple?
You want to see the purple scissors? Here, let's do some cacao tea. Right, exactly. It's not even brushy. There's so much liquid. There's so much water in the grass. We don't have, you know, we don't have that dried grass. They don't have that dried hay that they have on the mainland. I don't know what kudzu is. That's right. Pineapples are cheap here. Everything else so expensive. They love woods. Interesting. Yeah, apparently what they do, there are some farms that are doing the cows here now. I just, I don't know. I don't get the satisfaction. So I need to get mainland cows. And I should be supporting local beef, but I don't. I'm ashamed. We do have local chocolate though, cacao. And this is a 4 ounce of cacao tea. You say that, but when you get here, you're either gonna be spraying the whole farm with Roundup, or you're gonna be weed whacking yourself, or you're gonna be spending all this money on weed whackers, and then you're gonna wish you never had a farm. You're gonna wish all you had was a little house with a yard that you could sit on the lawnmower and just mow the lawn. That's what my wife wishes. It's like, oh my god, should never gotten this farm. I don't know. I know we have a white pineapple. I've never had a pink pineapple. And the white pineapples are very sweet. I don't think it's GMO, and it is very, very sweet. I'm not married, but we've been living together for 26 years. I think we're more married than most married people. I've never seen a pink one, but I believe you. All right, $1 on the cacao tea. Yeah, and not only have we been together, but we lived together, and neither of us really had jobs, so we worked together. We've been like selling stuff on the internet since we were like 23. So like we didn't go out. It's not no bueno. You've been married for 46 years. That's good. Congratulations. It's hard. I'm glad you guys made it. It's definitely hard. All right, let's try to go back to the estate Kona 20 this is the estate Kona 100% Kona coffee. I do have some samples. I run those. This is our best deal right now because it's about 8 days old. So and I got too much of it roasted, so it's about the same price as the Hawaiian right now. Do they really? That's interesting. I don't even think we were friends. Oh, you married your best friend. There you go. We're not even friends anymore. She's my ex girlfriend. My now wife. Okay, if you guys want some 12-ounce bags, here's a dark 12-ounce. Um, and all of our coffee is guaranteed not to give you any acid reflux or indigestion. and that's because of how we pick it. We only pick coffee that is soft and overripe, just like how you would pick your oranges if you had them in your own backyard, and that's why our coffee is so much sweeter. Yeah, I've never seen pink pineapples. Yeah, the jitters. That's right. You don't really get the jitters from this, also because of how ripe it is. Unripe fruit gives you the jitters, right? Unripe fruit has toxins in it. Unripe fruit doesn't want you to eat it. It wants to deter bugs from eating it. And the best pesticides are actually nerve toxins. And so a lot of even caffeine is actually a nerve toxin, but a lot of the jitters you're getting are other toxins in the coffee that's just unripe. If you ate a handful of green strawberries every single day, you probably feel the same way you feel on unripe coffee or on coffee. You get that stomach ache, you get the sweats, you'd feel not good. I'm gonna just run through each of my items and then I think I'm gonna go for now. So you guys get a chance to just bid on each of the items here. I'll just run each of these until there's no more interest in it. Yeah, let me run a Kona White for you next. This is 2 ounce of our Hawaiian Light, just roasted on Saturday. Yeah, Exidy at our KTA last year, the pineapples were extremely cheap. It was like 3.99 for a Maui pineapple. I was really surprised. So that was the first time I've seen anything in Hawaii for a reasonable price. All right, you wanted a sampler of the white. I only have that in extra fancy. I'll try to get more of the white Hawaiian roasted so you guys can get that for a little bit cheaper and still get that nice effect. I'm gonna let these go for 6, but I really can't do it for less than 6. Everything in Hawaii is expensive, but then if you know where to buy them, right, Exit, then you can get it for cheap. And bananas are expensive out here. Like one of my woofers taught me, right? All the young kids here are poor, so one of the woofers taught me what you do is you go to Safeway, get the Safeway app, and then when you spend $1,000, you get $1 off per gallon, and then you bring fuel tanks and you just load up on gas. Solids, yeah, I'll take a look right away. If you get the shits from my coffee, I will give you your money back. I will. I don't want you guys getting the shits. That's one of the cornerstones of my sales pitch is this coffee won't give you the shits. Some people definitely you got issues that aren't coming from the coffee, and in that case, it may I did a $1 start. I did it again. I always do that. All right, guys. This is the white for $1 start. I do have some light mediums. I'll run that for you next. You didn't get the shits. I'm glad. I always do these $1 starts. I'm gonna run a few of these. I guess the $1 start was okay, but this is the white coffee, and this coffee is gonna be 10 times stronger. It's comparable to a monster drink, and the reason for that is it has this other alkaloid called trigonylene. And when you roast trigonylene to 250 degrees, it becomes something called methylamine, which is the meth part of methamphetamine. It's not methamphetamine, but it is the hallucinogenic part, which is what makes coffee give you a buzz. That's why I'll just run these a little bit shorter. 15-second sudden death. And that's why coffee um, makes you happy. It's not the caffeine, it's this other compound, methylamine. But this trigonylene, before it becomes methylamine, look it up. It's methylated niacin. It's got all sorts of positive. This is it. This is the one. It's got all sorts of benefits. Um, I'm gonna do some videos on my YouTube. So if you want to follow my YouTube, I can actually talk about it there. I don't want to talk too much about it here because I don't want suddenly to hear that I'm selling a supplement and now I got to do all this other stuff with the FDA and this and that. I don't want that to happen. Um, so if you want to learn more about some of the supplement stuff, I would say New York City has similar prices as Hawaii. It's comparable. It's even a little bit cheaper in New York City, though. I will say that. All right, one more of these guys. $6. Darn it. So if you guys want to learn more about, you know, the coffee, the science, and kind of the individual chemistry of the coffee, I'm going to make this YouTube channel. I also have some playlists on there about how to make the coffee. There's people who are far better than me at making the coffee. So, I want to put that out there for you guys. Here is a sample of our 2 ounce dark Hawaiian. There's a 2 ounce dark Hawaiian. This one is the one to start with. It's the sweetest of all our coffees. It's a true dark roast, has the full, flavor of coffee that you guys are looking for, just without the bitterness and without the burn flavors. Tastes like a toasted caramel or a dark chocolate caramel, and won't have any bitterness or sourness. Guaranteed not to give you any indigestion. Someone on here said that they're drinking 8 cups when they can only drink one. Eventually, that may stop being the case. So you may not want to moderate and not drink 8 cups all day, because eventually your body may decide that even that's too much. I'm going to do one extra fancy medium here at a 20-second sudden death. This is our extra fancy. I'll just do it non-sudden death. This is the biggest beans that we have. Almost tastes like a Nutella. Has a nuttiness to it, but it is fruity, a little bit raisiny. It's not fruity like a fruit. It's fruity like a raisin, kind of like very very sweet, and then has a milk chocolate, almost like a raisinette, but a little bit nutty. So I do compare it to a Nutella. It's got a similar kind of texture. It's velvety, smooth, and rich. And this is our extra fancy medium. I got a pound of turmeric here. Let's do a pound of turmeric. This is Hawaiian turmeric, anti-inflammatory. You can replant it. You can juice it. Looks like no takers, so you can get it for cheap as well. Um, all right, $3 for turmeric. Great deal there. We did the dark Hawaiian. I'll do one more of these. Yeah. So if there's anyone who is really good at farming vegetables and doesn't care about hand weeding, we had a guy on 2 acres out here was making. I think I was told he was making $300,000 a year just farming tomatoes on his little 2 acres. So I mean, he worked hard, but people who can grow vegetables can make money in Hawaii. It's a food. It's a food desert here, and I'm not one of those people. It's not easy to grow vegetables. Here's a medium estate sample, 2 ounce sample of the estate medium. A lot of bugs. Um, a lot of bugs out here. It's hard to find help, right? So it's very hard. You have to do everything yourself, and so you got to be really kind of focused. As you guys can see, I have trouble focusing, and you have to just focus on every day. You got to do the same thing. You got to put down, 50 more new tomato plants. You got to spray them with this. You got to do them with that. So there's a lot of maintenance that you got to do. Slugs and snails. Yep. A lot of pests, and you have to be able to get through all of those, and that's not something I've mastered. So I haven't been. I've wanted to, and I haven't been able to. If I and I like planting things outdoors, and we got fungus issues. There's a lot of So you gotta have a system. You gotta be very systematic, and that's I have trouble with that. I'm not that systematic. I could be, but I'm not. All right, here is a 2 ounce sample of our Kona peaberry, and I'm gonna wrap this show up because I do have to go to my next stop. It looks like everyone's leaving here. I've been here for a while. So this is a 2 ounce Kona peaberry, dark peaberry here, and I think the whole vegetable thing is going to be the case throughout the U.S. Now that we don't, it's vegetable prices are going way up, and so anyone with a greenhouse who's dedicated to just growing 100 pounds of tomatoes a week, you can make a good. You can make really good money on 100 pounds of tomatoes. Just 10 years ago, tomatoes were like 99 cents a pound. Now they're like $7 a pound, right? So you can actually make money growing tomatoes. I've been talking about tomatoes for so long. All right, one more of these Kona Darks. I shouldn't have ran it at 30 seconds. But yeah, if you can grow tomatoes, eggplants, you just got to find that one crop that you're good at and just do it all day. I think the problem as gardeners, you want to grow a lot of stuff, right? You want to have tomatoes, you want to have eggplants, you want to have squash, you want to have a little bit of everything. But you can't make money like that. You got to grow one thing and just get really good at it, and it gets boring. And you can't even eat any of the stuff you grow, so that's, you know, it's psychological. Making money, right? Psychological. You got to sacrifice that variety and enjoying what you're doing. And now it's just, you're just grinding. So it changes the nature of what you're doing. And maybe it's better just to not have to worry about it. I don't know. All right, how about a bag of dark Hawaiian here? And someone asked for medium light Hawaiian, right? I hope you're still here. It took a while. Here's a bag of dark Hawaiian. Kombucha is grown in Hawaii. I mean, pineapples are grown in Hawaii. Let me run a light medium for you. Let me run these a little bit faster. I'm sorry I'm making you guys wait for so long. All right. There's a light medium. This one.
There's a flying right now.
Oh no. This is the this is the light one that's still, this is the sweetest of all our lights. Um this one is the iron sword. I feel like you do well out here. But you'd miss New York. I miss New York City, honestly. All right. This is our medium light Hawaiian. I'm gonna go back to the medium Hawaiian and I'll do the dark and I'll do the medium estate. I'll do a little bit of each of the larger bags for some price. Here's a medium. I don't have much of the medium, so I have to run it at 25. I ran it at 23 before, but anyway. And then I'll do a dark. You got the sample. Awesome. It's Willow's mom. Willow's like, where? Willow's like, where's my mom? That's just her name. That's not your mom. It's just her name. Sorry, I confused you. All right, here's another bag of the dark if you want it. It's Willow's mom. My daughter's name is Willow. So when I said that, she looked at my computer and she's like, oh, all right. Let's just remove each of these. We got an extra fancy dark 6-ounce bag. This is our biggest beans, most expensive beans, biggest beans in the world, top 1% of the beans. So these are kind of monsters, and this is a 6-ounce bag if you guys want it. I'll show the beans to you next time I'm on. I'm just actually wrapping up my show now, so unfortunately, I'm just going to run through these. And I'm going to run one bag of these 6-ounce extra fancy beans for you guys to bid on. $1 start, so if you want to grab that, please do. This is the biggest beans that we have. These are 19/64 of an inch or above. And so this dark roast has that black, a little bit of oil on it. Very, very oily, very smooth, rich, and buttery. Beans do not grow this large anywhere else in the world. They're so big that they'll be like 4 or 5 times bigger than the beans you guys buy in the store. Sometimes even bigger than that. Like the beans I got this morning, easily 6 to 8 times bigger, like just ridiculously big. So compare your beans when you get these beans. These are all perfect, no defects in them, and 14 bucks is actually a really good deal. 16 bucks, anything, even anything below 25 bucks, even 20 bucks was already a good deal for this. So I'm just giving you guys one bag of that. All right. I got a bag of the yellow Katura here. This is the rarest of all our coffees. I've got like less than 3 pounds of this left. Exity, I'll see you again soon, hopefully, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for coming on. And I'm gonna go pretty soon too. So medium Katura here. All right. We got our dark estate that we're putting on sale for 42 a pound, which is 21. This is our best deal right now. It's 100% Kona, single estate, and this one is almost as good as the extra fancy, but half the price. Almost as cheap as the Hawaiian, so it is worth grabbing right now. And it's just 8 days old. That's why I put it on sale. I got too much of it roasted, um, because I found a really good, like a good price on it. So, but now I'm giving it to you for 21 because I got so much of it roasted. But anyway, this is the dark roast. Tastes like a dark chocolate caramel or a toasted caramel. Very, very sweet for coffee, and that'll be it for that. I'll also run a medium Kona estate. Just running through each of my items, give you guys the last chance to grab it for a discount here. 21 bucks for our medium estate. And we do retail this for 65, 72 bucks on our website, but right now I give a $20 coupon, so it's down to a $52 price on the website. 21 here. I do have some nibs, Rooster Tastic. I'll run that next. I can't give too much of a discount on these. I'm already pretty close. But yeah, these are 4 ounces of nibs. Nibs from anywhere are costing, I see, 32 bucks a pound, some eight bucks for 4 ounces. So these nibs are actually really competitively priced. These are 100% Hawaiian nibs. So it's got that fruitiness and sweetness that's different uh, from other regional chocolates. You really taste the fruitiness. You got the order. Awesome. I'm always happy when you guys are happy with your order, because I usually only hear from you when you're unhappy with the order. But yeah, these nibs you can eat right out of the bag. It's raw chocolate. It's like chocolate with cacao butter, and so you're getting, it just tastes like pure dark chocolate. Um, and these are all Hawaiian chocolates, so 100% Hawaiian chocolate. You can snack on these all day. They don't have any milk or sugar added, so it's actually very healthy for you. You do feel it calming you down. If you had too much of that white coffee, a lot of times you eat the nibs and you're going to feel better. At least that's the case for me. And these 4 ounce of the nibs. If you guys want me to run a pound, maybe we'll just do the 4 ounces. And so yeah, look up nibs from other countries. A lot of times they add sugar to the nibs. We don't have to do that because our nibs. That was my last one, guys. All right, all right. I got one more 8 ounce bag of our extra fancy Hawaiian. I mean, extra fancy white. If you guys want a larger bag of the white coffee. The rounds are actually baking chocolate, right? So it's cacao powder, milk, sugar. It's what you would normally get, like you'd make chocolate out of. The nibs is raw chocolate. It's this chocolate bean that's been crushed into little bits. The cacao butter and dark chocolate cacao is still intact. It's not, nothing has been added. So it's just chocolate in its pure form. Hey Penguin, you're catching me towards the end of the show here, so I'm getting ready to go. But thanks for joining us. If you guys have any last requests, let me know. I'm running these chocolate covered Mac nuts at my cost, which is 16. And so you can grab these if you want. I'm not going to sell these again after I run out. I will try to make my own chocolate covered Mac nuts, but I'm not going to sell these. They're just too expensive. But they are, you can tell it's a premium chocolate, very, very smooth. Um, but it's too good for me. I got some cacao tea. These are the this is the peel of the cocoa seed, and this makes a great anytime you want your water. You know, if you want to brew chocolate, this is the best way to brew it. It's better than nibs because like nibs are fatty. The flavor doesn't really get into the water, whereas this has just pure cacao essence in it, and you brew it and it goes right into your water. Um, if you're making a cacao flavor, if you want a chocolate coffee or a chocolate tea, this does really well. You just brew it with your hot water and it goes right into the water. Doesn't make any mess because it's actually water soluble, which you can't say for most chocolate. Most chocolate is actually very hard to get into water, whereas this goes right in. So this is a nice, easy way to brew your chocolate and to get chocolate flavor. My new tube is new too, so I'm going to make it better. I'm going to focus it more on the science and the chemistry of coffee. I think I can bring a unique. I am a chemist, so I can bring more of a unique perspective on that. And I'm putting on playlists to help you guys uh, at least brew. But I'm not. I don't know that much about brewing. Here's the link. It's at Rooster Farms Coffee. You guys want to follow it, and we do have a simulcast. I think that's it for me, guys. So if you guys have any last requests, let me know. Let me know. I'll give you guys 30 more seconds. If there's anything else you want me to run, otherwise, I'm done. We got an 8 ounce of the light pea berry, something new. A larger bag of the light pea berry, 8 ounces. But I think I'm good. Thank you guys for joining us. And I have that tagged there as my YouTube channel. I'm going to go through more of the health benefits of coffee. I'm going to have playlists of how to make the coffee and what other people have said about coffee and stuff like that. So I'll try to gather together the stuff on YouTube. YouTube is powerful. And thank you guys for joining me and keeping me on track. Mhm.